The number one concern was because I was having some shakiness in my head, and I've never experienced that before. It kind of came all of a sudden, and when I would, sitting still looking at you right now, very slight movement, but when I first came in, my head was moving like this.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my first concern. My wife actually came in first. She was getting really good results. She had a surgery, and she was not doing well. Her back, I was giving her massages every night, and she was in a lot of pain. Her back muscles were knotting up, and within like 2 treatments, she was like out of pain, and I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
So I came in with her to find out what this NUCA was, and I was watching and listening, and I really didn't see any adjustment. And he said, well, that's because she's doing so well right away. I said, wow, if it works that fast, sign me up.
Right. Now, how long had the neck shaking been going on before you came in to see Jamie?
The head shaking had been going on for, I don't know, maybe a month or two. It was,
a month or two prior?
Yeah,
Okay.
quite a while. And I just didn't know what to do about it. I thought it might be chiropractic related. I actually went to my regular chiropractor because I've been going to chiropractic doctors for a number of years. And he said, well, I can give you an adjustment, but I don't think I can take care of this. And he didn't really know what to do. He said maybe I should go see a neurologist, and gave me some other, advice. So I went online, and my wife had told me about NUCA, and I looked up NUCA online, and it said there were a couple patients in there who had experienced some good results with this treatment about head shaking. So I'm thrilled. That was my number one concern when I came in, and I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at least an 8 right now compared to where I was when I came in.
So you're about 80% better from
Yeah.
when you first started.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So the kind of residual part of that was I do radio. I'm a radio talk show host, so I'm sitting in front of a microphone a lot, and of course in front of a computer all day long. And I was also having a lot of stress in my neck and my shoulders. I was having neck and shoulder pain, and so as sort of a secondary thing, my neck and shoulder pain went away, which was pretty impressive to me. After just 1 or 2 treatments, it was just pretty amazing. And then, now I'd always gotten conventional chiropractic treatments, mainly for my hips. I had an injury when I was a young boy. I had a water skiing accident, and I had hip pain quite a bit. So I noticed, especially when I run or play tennis, my hips would always be in pain whenever I jolted. You take that running step and you jolt. And so, again, it's about 80%. I hardly notice it at all anymore. And in fact, there are days when I don't even notice it at all. So
That's your neck and your shoulder pain as well as kind of the hip pain as well?
Right.
Okay.
I mean, it's like all the way down. Now, after that first treatment, the next day I was kind of sore and stiff, and I'm going, how could I be sore and stiff? He didn't do anything. He just pushed on my head, But, after that initial day, I never really experienced anything since, other than I just keep feeling better and better and physically.
Right.
Now,
I know a small concern that I have here is that, and you had some lower back pain, which probably was related to the hips and the neck and everything else. How is that doing?
I have no lower back pain.
No lower back pain.
No.
Great.
I mean, that is pretty much completely gone. I just haven't had lower back pain in weeks now. Yeah, it's just surprising to me. Everything about this whole treatment has just kind of surprised me, because I came into it pretty skeptical.
Right.
I especially after, first when I saw my wife and she had amazing results, I thought, maybe she wasn't really all that bad, you know. But I know that's wrong because I knew
Mhm.
she had major surgery and they cut muscles and everything, and I thought, okay, well, this has got to be for real then. But I was just still not wanting to believe it because I didn't really see him. I'm so used to conventional chiropractic where they twist your body and things crack and move and, you know, and they really wrench on you. And nothing against those guys because they have a great service too, and they helped me for many, many years. It's just that it never seemed to completely go away. But this treatment, I feel like it's gone. I mean, I feel as though it's really made an improvement in my health. In fact, I was saying to my wife the other day, both of us were saying how much younger we felt because of this. So
It's a
I'm
new
just really
lifestyle for
impressed.
you.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So could you kind of describe in detail a little bit what the first adjustment was like, what you expected and what it was actually like?
Yeah, the first adjustment, I felt the doctor pushing on the lower part of my skull or my head, and it was nothing more than just pressure. And he said, well, I might feel some movement. I didn't feel any movement. He said I might hear some little crackles or something. I didn't hear any of that. It was just as though he was pressing, and I thought his hand was shaking a little bit, but he said, no, in fact, that's actually movement in the skull. And I thought, wow, that is the strangest thing. I was laying on my side. I had no pain at all whatsoever. I mean, the only pain I had was laying down and getting up, you know, like I was in pain before I had the treatments. Now I can lay down, get up, and I don't have any pain.
Now, after that first adjustment, how long till you realized the changes that were taking place? Was it immediately? Did it take a couple weeks or a month?
Well, I can't say immediately because the next day I was kind of sore, you know, and I felt like kind of pains that I hadn't really felt before. I mean, it felt sort of like different things were moving or had moved, and there was some soreness and some stiffness. So that next day, I didn't really feel any improvement, and then it was probably by the end of that week when I really, because I didn't think about it. I was so used to being in pain, I didn't really notice the change. The other thing that I noticed was that not my outlook, but when I was in pain, I was a little bit edgier.
Right.
And I noticed that edginess gone at the end of the week, and we were having a great time. We went to lunch or dinner on a weekend, went to church on Sunday, and when we came out of church, normally I'm feeling a little edgy and, you know, cranky. I just didn't. So I guess at the end of the first week was when I noticed the change, and when I came back the following week for the treatment, I thought there was a big improvement at that point. Now that's just me. I don't know if everybody's like that, but that's just the way I felt.
Well, great. So besides the pain, you know, being relieved, just overall in general, you think it's giving you a better outlook on life and family and personality and everything just because you're not focusing on the pain as much.
Right. I don't have that edge to me that I used to have, you know.
Yeah.
It's really been a blessing, that part of it. It's just been terrific.
Great.
I used to take a lot of aspirin, you know. I don't take aspirin anymore. The aspirin was helping me kind of, I think, get rid of that little edginess or that little bit of pain that I was having. Because, I mean, it wasn't a big deal, but it sure makes you feel different and it makes you feel better. I'm feeling a lot better. I feel a lot younger.